the airline company Thai Airways has launched a restaurant where it's given diners the opportunity to experience airline food, in a restaurant. Do you know when you see something and you read about it and you look at the pictures and then you just are constantly thinking to yourself, why? This is one of them. This is one of them. I mean, they look happy enough. Those people, they look very happy. They're sitting having a wee conversation. She's like, "Aye, listen, he'll have egg fried rice and two. Have you got Singtel? Aye, 2 pints of lager." And that's him. But then these people are probably all staged for media. Now, to go into the article itself, it says that it has given them the opportunity. No, I think that this has obviously been set. It's been set up because of COVID, right? I don't think anybody has been bombarding Thai Airways going, "Listen, see that chicken dish that you give out on your flights? I have been craving that since lockdown." Nobody craves airline food. Nobody, right? There isn't a person on the planet who's had a meal in an airplane and went, "That's one of the greatest things I've ever had." Maybe if you've flown first class with one of the fancy UAE, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, slave trading airlines, maybe you've had a cracking dinner, right? Nothing compared, because your taste buds are different. Everything works differently at that point. There was a Heston Blumenthal, who's also a fucking headbanger. He had I'm sure a series on, I want to say BBC, maybe Channel 4, and he was looking at airline food and how airline food is very heavily salted, and they'll add an awful lot of salt into it because at that altitude your taste buds work differently, so you can't taste things the same, and they have to make up the meals and season them in a different way so that you actually get some fucking flavour at the damn thing, right? How they test that, I've no idea. It could just be somebody who's got a real tolerance for salt. I like salty food. Hello. They send me up with a fucking fish tea. I'm like, this needs more salt. There's hundreds of salt in it. It's because of the height. It's the altitude, mate. Can't taste the salt. Know what I mean? So the article says, and this is from the Business Traveller, by the way. This is none of your Metro and shite here. This is businesstraveller.com, I'll have you know. Thai Airways has opened a restaurant that mimics the design of its plane cabin at its headquarters in Bangkok for flying enthusiasts missing the travel experience. What? Flying enthusiasts who are missing the travel experience. Now, I mean, look at that picture. That, first of all, that is not a plane, right? Nobody's facing each other. That's probably a first class seat as well. So if they were actually setting this up to give you the flying experience, then you should probably have the seat in front of you jammed right up against you. There's very few flights I've ever taken where I can get a tray table down. One, because of the fucking gut that's on me, and two, you are jammed in like battery hens. And you're telling me that there's people out there who are actually sitting going, "Do you know what I miss? I miss eating my dinner off some cunt's head in front of me. That's what I miss. I wish there was some way we could go to the headquarters of Thai Airways and eat our fucking dinner." Basically what they've done is they've got hundreds of seats off a plane, right? These poor bastards, man. To be fair to them, wearing masks, to be fair to them. They've got these fuckers. They've got a couple of chairs, seats, out of an old fucking Boeing 747 or whatever. Set it up in one of the conference rooms in the headquarters. And went, "Do you know what we can do? Get a load of people in here, give them the fucking dinner." I mean, I suppose it's a good idea, isn't it? It's something that's novelty. I imagine there's hipsters out in Thailand as well. Listen, if somebody done that here in Edinburgh, for God's sake, got a whole load of airplane seats and put it in a restaurant, they'd be fucking queued round the block, man. They'd be booked out for months. The restaurant doesn't say a name. It's not got a name. Just says the restaurant, which is open to the public, seeks to recreate the in-flight experience by offering plain food and decor that features the airline's iconic purple, orange and pink plain seats and pillows. There's also a beanbag seating area. Oh, a beanbag... a beanbag seating area, which is obviously common in most Thai Airways flights, I would imagine. Trying to recreate that in-flight experience by having children scream and a drunken couple. You know, they're drafting in the Thai Franco and Sandra to have a Barney in the other end of the plane. Are you going to have to pay more money to have a good seat? Have they brought in 2 portaloos to put at either end of the restaurant, so everybody's got to queue down the middle aisle to go for a shite, and then you're getting your dinner last because you're at the other end for the kitchen, so you're sitting tucking into your fucking Thai green curry as the toilet door keeps wafting and a big fucking blow of shite comes in the restaurant. Is that recreating the experience? You're going to be sitting sweating, 30-degree heat, jamming fucking crap-free earbuds into your ears because you put your fucking good earbuds in your case and it's going into the hole and you can't get them. So you've got shite rock music for the 90s blasting into your sweaty eardrums because it's those earbuds that have still got the bit of cloth over it because you've no idea how the fuck they're still in circulation, but they're on Thai Airways. Recreate the in-flight experience. Shut up. Do you think you get the wee dinners? I would hope that they would give you your meal inside that wee plastic tray with a silver, lid on it like a fucking giant pot noodle. I hope that's what you get. I imagine it's going to be on a plate and it's all fancy and there's a wine menu and a cocktail menu. The national carrier has grounded most of its planes due to the coronavirus crisis and filed for bankruptcy protection in May. The government of Thailand said it would allow the airline to restructure under the supervision of the local bankruptcy court. Diners at Thai Airways restaurant will be greeted by crew members dressed in full uniform. They will also receive a boarding pass as a souvenir. The restaurant is open from Wednesday to Friday from 7 a.m. 7 a.m? Who's got a fucking Thai restaurant at 7 in the morning? The airline says it will begin serving international cuisine between 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. Partner is also a bakery. I mean, I suppose at the same time, you've got to think, right, you've got to do something to try and get yourself through COVID. And a lot of people have done some crazy things, but whoever's been sitting, that's been a last-ditch desperate attempt at like a young, new member of staff to come up with an idea. That's some guy or girl, they've come through university, they've got a high-falutin job at Thai Airways, you've came in, 2 weeks later, lockdowns happened, they've grounded all the flights, and now they're looking to you to come up with some great idea, that's going to generate money so the business doesn't go bust. And you're like, we could put a load of seats in the foyer and turn it into a restaurant. And they're like, I love it. You're going, oh, in the name of fuck, what have I done? I'm now trying to think of flights that I've had because I've had some god-awful food on flights. The worst one is if you're ever on a flight and you forget that it's morning, so you're getting a breakfast, and you peel that wee thing back to have. I mean, I hate beans anyway, right? This could be controversial, but beans are the work of the devil. But you've got that wee puddle of beans, and then like an egg that. I don't know how you would describe it, man. It looks like a sock that's been through the wash one too many times. It's just it's an odd colour. It's an odd shape. You don't know if it's scrambled. You don't know if it's an omelette. It's just horrendous looking. And as soon as you peel that bit, the smell. There's nothing worse than breakfast on a fucking breakfast on a plane. Once I went to America, I mean, I've been a couple of times, but one time I went, mega cheap flights, couldn't believe it, right? And then when we actually looked at it, we realised we were flying to Toronto first, and then we were flying down, so we're going Glasgow to Toronto to Atlanta, where my dad was in America. And that last flight from Toronto to Atlanta was like a fucking single engine, 2 rows of single seats. One of the most terrifying. Thai Airways. Don't be terrifying. Fly with airlines. That was one of the most terrifying flights of my life ever. Like, you walked in the gangway, the gantry, and we got on the plane, and I remember coming in and just seeing, like, single seats. I'm thinking, can it be? There must be another plane behind this plane. And then that was us for like 5 hours all the way to Atlanta in this fucking tiny wee plane. Terrifying. But Air Canada, I remember that. When we flew there, I don't think there was a lot of people on the flight. I think we'd lucked out. Because we had like a whole row to ourselves. So me and my two mates, we had like 3 seats each. You know, when we took off, you're looking about the plane going, there's fucking nobody here. So we just moved and spaced ourselves. It had amazing space, and it was just constant. I'll never forget, it was just constant food and drink. They kept coming down with the trolley. And I remember the first time, I never said, my friend said, how much is a beer? And she went, it's free. And then we all picked up going, what? She went, yeah, food and drink is free for your duration of the flight. And I thought, this airline will never fucking last. This airline will not be flying out of Glasgow for very long. And we didn't take the piss, you know, but just every time they would come round, you would get like a couple of cans of beer or whatever, just keeping you topped up. And I remember later on, it was getting out, so we had our dinner on it, and we were having more drinks, then you get a snack, and at one point she came round again with the trolley. And I thought, fuck it, we've only got an hour or two left. We'll get another couple of cans, man. It's free, you might as well make the most of it. And I says, can we get a drink? And they're like, oh, the drinks trolley will be doing in a minute. This is actually pizza. We're like, what the fuck? Just dishing out a slice of pizza. I was like, I never want to get off this flight. That's one of the best flights I've been on. Worst flights, coming back from Turkey, one of the worst turbulence I have ever experienced. It's the only time when I'm flying, I don't really get scared. I do feel as if as soon as the wheels leave the runway, so as soon as you feel that kind of, you know, you feel your body sink into the floor and then lift up, right? And that's when it comes off the runway and you're now flying. As soon as I feel that, I think, no matter what happens now, we're dead. We've passed the point of no return. There's no point in worrying. There's no point in being scared, because as soon as you're off the ground, you're dead. You've officially died until you land again. That's the way I think it, right? Now, that could be wrong. That could be a stupid way to think about it. But that's the way that I think about it. What is this notification? So, turbulence a couple of times in a plane. If you've flown enough, you used to it, or you understand what it is. You know, you're going through a cloud or changing pressure, whatever. But this time in Turkey, this was the first time where the planes dropped. I don't know if you ever had that, but that's terrifying. When you're just, and all of a sudden you just drop out of the air. And it kept doing it about 3 or 4 times, to the point where you're going, is this guy's first flight? What the fuck is he doing? Now, it'd been on and off for about an hour. And people were screaming. People were screaming in the flight. People were getting really worked up. And I think you could tell that it was bad, because even the crew, see when the cabin crew start to kind of grab onto stuff, that's when you know, right, it's bad, man. It's bad if they're reacting to it. And there was one point where they would just drop and drop and drop, and they did that about 3 times, then drop and drop, and you could see, like, who was the head air hostess, air crew, whatever. You could just see the look in her face as if, what the fuck is that arsehole there? Like, am I going to have to get in there and fly this fucking plane for him? So we'd had bad turbulence, and I couldn't hold this shite any longer. Like, I could not hold. I was either getting to that toilet or I was going to shit myself on this fucking plane. So I remember getting to the toilet, going to the toilet, and then fucking turbulence as I was on the shitter, man. And I was coming up and off the toilet, and I was banging about. And then the air hostess came to the door and told me that I couldn't leave. I had to sit in there, and there was a seatbelt. I never knew that either. There was a seatbelt on the toilet. I had to strap myself to the fucking shit. I had to strap myself at the toilet. Thankfully, I'd finished the job by this point, you know. But I remember there sitting strapped into a toilet, thinking, I would probably quite happily finish the flight out in here. There's more space. I can stretch my legs out. If I could have got my dinner served in there, you know, I could have rested on the wee sink. That's when you know that flying economy, that most of us will fly, is pretty shit, you know. When you've got more space in the toilet than what you have in your own seat, it's a pretty shite experience, man. Excuse the pun. I've never flown first class. Never. And I'd love to do it, man. But it's expensive, you know. It's crazy, man. I remember once looking at a ticket to go to New York, I think it was, and going, am I buying this plane? Like, it's fucking insane money. Who knows what's on the corner? You know, 2021, let's hope. Fresh start, new beginnings. Let's hope there's some good times ahead. Maybe there'll be a wee first class business flight in there as well at some point. Who knows? But aye. Maybe this will catch on. Maybe this will be the new thing. Maybe British Airways, EasyJet. I wonder what an EasyJet. I mean, it would just be a burger van. An EasyJet restaurant would just be literally EasyJet giving you their dinner. There wouldn't be a chef. They'd just bring the boxes in. They'd steam them. They'd fire them out. There'd be a wet t-shirt competition. We'd smash some plates. And then you got the road. Again, probably a great night out.